How do you, based on how your family operates, because that is probably true, America has like a different culture when it comes to raising kids. In Sweden or in your family, how do you make sure that there's both a level of I want my kids to be happy, but I also want to make sure they know that there's a certain standard that has to be met for us to be productive, for the family to be a productive member of society? Because there's like I want to be happy, but there's also the other problem, which is well, I can do drugs. I can go into strip bars. I can waste my time with a lot of useless things.
Well, then you're free to do so. But is that really going to make you happy? You know what I mean? I think those are special cases. Like that's not normal for people to be like that. Like you said with the drugs and that kind of stuff. I don't know how they would make sure. I mean, you can't make sure even like it still happens in both cultures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to if you don't get the support and the support, and then also being able to communicate what you're feeling from a young age, then that kind of becomes the reason why people go into drugs, go into not normal things because they didn't have that when they were a child. Maybe. I don't know, maybe it's something I should ask your parents.
I think they've just always been, like I said, very supportive, very friendly, but also, you know, teach the difference between right and wrong. And you live and you learn. That's kind of just like how it goes. Can't say too much about their mindset. Just the lessons I've learned have mostly been through making mistakes and realizing that it's not the end of the world, even if you do. Like coming home, I think a lot of kids feel the need to lie to their parents. They have a lot of pressure on. They feel like they have a lot of pressure on them, and I just don't feel like, because they will get punished if they make a mistake and things like that. And to me, I never really had that. Like I didn't get punished for doing stupid things. It's enough to know that I let them down, you know, to not want to do that again.
Yeah, because my parents are more like discipline will get you where you want to go, that you don't make the stupid decisions and you have like a moral compass that you follow by, and whatever you pursue, while very supportive about it, that you pursue something that's admirable, that has some value to it. Like instead of just being like a construction worker or something, be an engineer, be a doctor, be something that provides you value, that you won't be, you won't be hoping, or you won't be worried about putting money on the table, putting food on the table at night, but also something where you can help other people with not their problems, like their psychological problems, but like be a solution to someone else's problem, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Your family is more supportive, like it doesn't matter.
It's more like, no, it definitely matters what you do, and they're very big on going to school and like you said, putting food on the table and making sure that you have the ability to provide for yourself and for your my eventual family. But for the most part, they've always said that they just want me to be happy. As long as I'm happy, they're happy. With, there's some parameters to that, right? Like if I was happy as a heroin addict, I don't think they would be like, yes. I don't think you're happy, I'm happy. You're dying, yeah. No. Their approach has kind of been to let me make my own mistakes and figure things out kind of for myself, or just through experience, I guess. They're always there with advice and support, obviously, but it's a lot of, learning from past experiences, mistakes.
Yeah. That's interesting, because I've seen in a lot of people, not that I know personally, but like maybe social media or something, where parents who are too lenient, like parents that will let their kids drive their Porsche and then crash it into a barrier and be like, they did that, that's all right, and I just I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between being too hard, being like too much discipline, and not having enough discipline. And then like, where's that happiness really come from if you don't have those standards of, my kids did something stupid, they should really know that that's not something they should do, but also that I'm there to support them.
I don't know. I feel like it's a level of mutual respect. I really respect my parents, and because I feel that they respect me. I think it has to do with mutual respect and liking them. They're not just my parents. They are people that I genuinely like to be around, and I like to have good times with. So just that makes me not want to do things like that. Like I would never drive their car, crash it, and expect them to just be fine with it or to get me a new one or something like that. You act, I think you act differently when you respect somebody and when you like them. Even if you don't like them, if you respect them, at least you act a certain way to make sure to try to get that respect back, because you want people to respect you.
Yeah, so would you say a lot of the respect that you got from your parents was also the respect that they gave each other?
Absolutely. Like if that was another point I was going to make about what I see with my future family. If I can have a relationship with my future wife like my parents have, at least obviously I don't know everything that goes on, but the way they have stuck with each other and through thick and thin, and the way they complement one another as personalities, is really awesome. It's really awesome. It's really lovely to see two people be together for that long and act like little kids around each other, like that are just in a new relationship. It's really funny to witness them banter like little kids.
And they still get into arguments. They still
Sure,
but
sure. That's life.
Do your parents ever raise their voice to each other?
Yeah. Happens. It's life. Emotions run high sometimes, but they respect each other enough to resolve. That is more important than anything, is to resolve the problem or whatever it was afterwards. And I think, yeah, that could be a good thing. Like when I did get disciplined as a kid, if I'm acting up at the dinner table or something, and my dad might have sent me to my room or really raised his voice at me and made me go to my room for a bit. And that's part of discipline. But then he would always come to my room, after a little bit, after I've calmed down for a little bit. And first and foremost, he would apologize for maybe raising his voice or for grabbing me a certain way. But he would make sure I understood why he had to act the way he did. It was because of the way I acted.
So he wasn't apologizing for
He wasn't apologizing for
what he was
disciplining
doing.
me.
Yeah, he was apologizing just the way he did it. Or
or just the fact that he had to.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he apologized for the fact that, because he knows I'm upset. So he'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're upset, and I'm sorry maybe that I raised my voice at you. But I did it because of this, because you did this."
So it's not so much an apology, it's more of just empathy.
Yeah.
That I know that it's not fun to go through that, but it is something that we all go through.
Yeah. So there's that's a good way to put it. There's a level of empathy there and a certain level of respect to recognize, or to have me understand that it's empathy. You know what I mean? He wants me to understand that.
I guess it's kind of like, in a way, that the families that do a lot of discipline or try to hold their kids to a high level of standards, it's more they're trying to treat their kids like adults, and the ones that are more lenient and more like they don't really care too much, they're treating their kids as if they're kids. But there's like that in between they're not adults, they're not kids, they're family. They're people that that no matter what happens, you will always love them for their faults, for their actions, but for them having to learn new things. I think I was watching a Modern Wisdom podcast with the owner of Dry Creek Wrangler School. It's kind of like a cowboy school. And one of the things that Dwayne, the guy talking, the guest on there, was talking about is how you want to be there to help other people, but you also have to let them fall for themselves, be able to fall on the ground and pick themselves back up. So you help them when they want help, and then you don't help them when they need to learn for themselves.
Yeah, there's always there's definitely a balance of learning from advice, other people's wisdom, and having your own experiences and gaining that wisdom for yourself.
Yeah.